Gates down. I got to switch to another moto. And the whole crew, come on up. You got champagne. And if you guys want photos on the podium with Derek, you're more than welcome to do it and celebrate a job well done in Open Pro Sport. Kevin, take it away.
Yeah, here we go with Senior Plus 40, your last moto on the day. And they get the benefit of a rough racetrack. Mike Brown feels like he just raced a couple hours ago, and I believe he did. He is out front again. Mike Brown looking for 1-1-1 to complete the trifecta. The only blemish on his weekend was a moto loss to Ricky Renner. A little more age appropriate for Mike, playing with the young guys earlier in the plus 25 class at the age of 47. Now he's hanging out with his peers in this plus 40 class. Brown with 1-1 scores. John Gruey with 2-2 scores. Barry Karsten 3-3 scores. 4-4 scores for Frenchie Gregory Paymart. 5-5 scores for Edward Walston. 7-6 scores for 6th place overall Rob Floth. Brian Garahan 6-9 scores for 7th overall. Billy Fosnock 9-7 for 8th overall. Dennis Bort 10-8 moto scores. And rounding out your top 10, going into our third and final moto, the number 89 of Christopher McMillan. Mike Brown with the whole shot. There's Greg Paymart, number 44. Then Barry Karsten. Not sure that we are going to see John Gruey, who got a little dinged up in that plus class we raced earlier. Karsten working on Paymart. Paymart on the inside on the 44 Kawasaki. Karsten trying to sweep around on the yellow Suzuki switches lines. That's the battle we are watching. Paymart on the 44, the 31 of Barry Karsten. And Barry just rifles right around him. One lap officially in the books. So it's Brown, Paymart, Karsten. Fosnock is 4th. Edward Walston is 5th. Jeremy Tippity is 6th. Rob Floth 7th. Dennis Bort 8th. Carl Walther 9th. And Brooke Fluker rounds out your top 10. And John Gruey back in 19th. But not sure. John mentioned that his thumb was injured in that altercation with Barry Karsten, so says he wasn't even sure if he's going to be able to hold on. He's a trooper. He's out there in the mix. And Gruey got some work to do in 19th. Mike Brown, a very comfortable 10-second lead right out of the gate. There's the 31 of Karsten. There's Paymart just behind him. Barry Karsten out of New Jersey. We'll check in with John Gruey, who was in 19th last time around. John's hasn't been in 19th place in probably 19 years. As always up front.
So we now know with 9 fingers, he's still able to run inside the top 20.
Wow, impressive.
That's how tough John Gruey is.
We got another good thumb to give you a thumbs up.
Paymart battling his way through in the 44. Paymart's been in the hunt the whole time, but this 40-plus class, this is like dropping the bomb on it once Brown came in. It has happened before. I remember Doug Dubach rolling into the ranch. He had about a 5 or 6 year run, which is just ridiculous. The damage Dubach was able to do. So sometimes you get these guys. It's not like they're not. It's not like they're racing professionally anymore. Brown, Dubach, all those riders. Carmichael, when he came back here for a year, they had not raced any pro nationals. They're following the rules. But the difference is they just never stopped riding ever. Riding was still a full-time thing, just in different avenues.
Yeah, Mike Brown probably, he's a lot like, he's the East Coast version of Doug Dubach. That guy, when he retired, he probably rode more. Just
yeah, you're right.
Kept on racing, kept on racing.
Yep. Karsten right there on your screen on a 31. So he's out of New Jersey, you say? Karsten?
Isn't that right?
He is out of New Jersey.
That's your guy, right?
Breaking some news up here. I never really looked into his background much.
Oh, you don't know much about him?
No. Not riding a Suzuki this year?
Oh, yeah, I think he changed over to Picked up Bromley's, really like what they saw.
Bromley. They've been scoping
scouting.
out.
Yeah, the guys at MSR said, you know what? I think we'd love to put in some of our fresh new gear. And they gave him a Suzuki. He promptly made it look 9 years old.
A fresh bike, old. How does he do it?
I don't know.
And there's Paymart keeping him close in third. Fosnock. Fourth, Ed Walston, Dennis Bork, Rob Floff, seventh, Jeremy Tiffany, eighth, Brian Garahan, ninth, and Brooke Fluker as your top 10. Gabriel Guardado is 11th. John Gruey has moved up to 12th, so he's riding pretty well.
Wow. What is on the visor of Barry Carson?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I think it's a goggle lens, which is typical, but then he covers it with black electrical tape.
He's using it for that's his eye black. Like he just ducks down.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a big truck visor. You can flip that thing down on the old F100.
Maybe he flips it down like the flip down sunglasses of a center fielder.
Catching a fly ball.
Yeah, he has that on there. Every moto, the black electrical tape over what I would assume is a goggle lens.
Probably some part off of an RV.
Maybe.
Adapted
mud
it
flap.
to fit.
It's an RV mud flap. And the black electrical tape, because he's not really down with the silhouette of the girl.
Oh, no.
Or the Yosemite Sam.
Yeah,
back off.
Double guns.
off.
He has mud flaps.
Mud flaps as a helmet visor.
Or those freezer door flaps when you walk into a freezer thing.
Oh, yeah.
They're hanging down.
You can never do it cool. You can never walk into those things like solid.
It tangles
you.
Always,
every time.
Or maybe
never
it's
been
beads
smooth.
like Greg Brady had in his room hanging down.
Oh, it's like 70s style? Barry was around back in those days.
So it could be. We're trying to figure that out.
Paymart is trying to get a closer look at that helmet of Karsten, so that's what's motivating him right now. Paymart on the number 44. You see him right there. He is matching Karsten stride for stride. 207 for 207. Mike Brown dropping 201s.
Paymart owns a string of Paymart gas stations in the Tri-Cities area. Let's made that up.
Oh, okay.
Paymart Gas and Save.
Sounds like it could be legit name. Man, he's closing in.
Somebody had to take up the role of John Gruey in this moto. There's no way you can have this moto, the last moto of the day here, not end with some drama.
So you think we could be in for it? He's up to 10th now, working on Brian Garahan.
Gruey riding for Greg Paymart.
Oh, very, very interesting. So Karsten's not aware.
Doesn't know what's coming.
He doesn't know what's coming.
Redemption. What is happening?
Switching from outside to inside, and Paymart doubling the sand rollers and blows past Karsten.
Now that's going to wake Barry Carson up. There we go. Now we're ready to go racing with Barry Carson. The parade laps are over. What? He's ready to dig down. He'll find 5 seconds a lap now because that's just who he is.
He did that with Gruey over and over. I mean, Paymart seriously has made up 3 seconds in one lap and blew past him, and now Carson's wicked it back up.
He's just going to figure out what you did, and he will do it better. The guys at Bromley on the edge of their seats, laying back in a very comfortable position. He has the most relaxed position on a motorcycle. You know, normally you can tell, I can tell he's being super aggressive. Yep. He just grabbed the handle on that lazy boy and said, football's ready. Let's watch a little football. Honey, bring some chips here.
Got his Answer sweatpants on.
He's in sweatpants. He grabs that wooden handle. The feet come up. Grabs a remote. He's done for the day.
If there's a hole in it, he just covers it with some duct tape. Look, he's back. He's going back after Paymart. So Paymart went, like I said, 3 seconds. To be specific, 3.3 seconds faster the last time around, and now Carson's matching him.
How do you
it's like he didn't realize he was there or something.
Oh, I need to go fast now? Is that what you're telling me?
Is that what happened?
That's what the pit board says. Now it says good, good, good. Now not good. And now it's going to be good when he makes a pass. That's it. No other information.
Actually, they put a bar graph on it like a dyno chart. Stock ticker up and down. Carson losing percentages on that last lap, but now a rebound.
Everybody's selling the Barry Carson stock now. They're wanting to buy low because it's going to be low now. But when he makes that pass, it's going to shoot up. Then you sell it again. So I'm buying some Barry Carson stock right now. I'm buying low because I know it's going to sell high in just a minute. Gregory Paymart, not really a proven stock. It's kind of up and down. You lose a lot of money. But Barry Carson continues to deliver about a 4% return each year, which is better than most over the long haul.
That's better than you can do with interest. You know, putting that money in the bank is not going to work for you.
Absolutely.
Not this time. Paymart, he has responded to the challenge. Carson had about a half a lap charge in him, but now that we're back to this sand section, it is over. He has fallen so far off. It's just crazy how quickly Paymart caught him
Said, I'm going to win now. I'm going to beat you.
What are you going to do? And Mike Brown out front. Paymart actually within a second of Brown's time. Paymart, what is going on with this guy?
If Barry Karsten has anything in the tank, what can Barry Karsten do? Has he got any titles here?
I don't think he does.
How's that possible?
Well, Karsten actually hasn't raced here much. He raced pro
all during the
forever. I think he might have been here, did Rodney say, maybe the first year or the second year, and
then
that was
he went
it.
pro in 83, and
yeah,
that was
and then
all
he
she
has
wrote.
been gone. So about 30 years.
Pro racing.
Yes, literally. And came back maybe 5 years ago. So he doesn't have a lot of runs, and he's been close, but no titles.
Both he and Mike LaRocco hold the distinction of like having national numbers, consecutive numbers, like 19 years. Like,
I think LaRocco did finally edge him. 1 second, let's check in with Ed Walston, who is in fourth right there on the number 11. Good ride by Ed. And
Ed managing the portfolio for most of the riders out there. Ed Walston Investments.
That's a good name.
It just sounds
like
he's important.
Yep. If you want to put your family's financial future,
put it in the hands of Ed Walston, Edward
Associates.
Walston and Associates.
Billy Fosnock fifth.
Well, securely.
Barry
safely.
had a tremendous streak, yes, of pro national numbers. But he was hosed 1 year, 2005. Suzuki didn't have a 450. He did not earn a national number on the RM 250 two-stroke. It's difficult to go up against the big bikes. The next year, 450 came out. Boom, he got a national number again. But that cost him dearly. John Gruey, he's up to 7th. So he went from 19th to 12th to 10th to 7th. He's got to get around Dennis Bork.
Got that Fred Flintstone size
and
thumb
then Fosnock
right now.
on 13. Go ahead.
His thumb is as big as Fred Flintstone's right now. Just you see it, the heart rate boom every time his heart beats. It's hurting so bad. So
they actually they don't have the inflatable thumb over Team Green right now. They just have John Gruey sit there with his arm up.
His big green and blue thumb.
It's disgusting. There's the 13 of bad Billy Fosnock in 13th. If you ride motocross and your name is Billy,
it's bad Billy.
You're bad Billy every time.
John Gruey, like you said, up to 7th with a 2:10 lap time. Can he catch Barry Karsten, who sits 58 seconds ahead of him? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's going to take a yeoman's-like effort and maybe all 10 fingers, but the thumb's not working. He'd like to hitch a ride, put that thumb up. You can see it from miles away.
Right.
Thing's all swollen up. So there was the 13 of Fosnock. We go through the field, give him a shout-out, as well as Walston, who we saw earlier. Fosnock going a long way around the beach, getting a good view. Woo! Kicking all the way from the left side to the right.
Another lucky number 13 for Billy Fosnock.
Yeah. Now we see Dennis Bork. Look who's coming.
There's
John Gruey. Down to the inside.
Dragging that thumb in the dirt there.
He's the Mike Brown line there. Way to the inside, and it worked. So another position for Gruey. 6th.
One of our doctors cut him underneath the thumb there. Let that swelling go down.
Relieve the pressure. Here's what's on the line here. Paymart now has 3rd overall. Gruey needs one more pass to get it back. So Gruey has motivation to go after. Next up, he just got Fosnock there, so he'd have to try to go after Edward Walston.
Then it's 29 seconds to from Gruey to Barry Karsten, which he should be able to make that up in 1 lap. Typically, that's the way he moves.
Really? 29?
No, probably not.
29 seconds a lap?
29 seconds a lap faster than the competition.
Unbelievable. So there's Gruey. There is Fosnock. Gruey's riding pretty well, despite the injury.
The word on the street is he actually went back, had the thumb taken off.
That's what it takes. Cut it off.
The way your uncle used to do it, take his thumb off like that.
Oh, that's just that joke. Ha ha. Fooling all the kids. Yep.
Literally took my thumb off before this moto.
Mike Brown, meanwhile, rocking and rolling up front. 1-1-1 scores. He had to put in the effort earlier to win that 25+. A little easier here in 40 because these guys are a little bit closer to his age. As we see the 13 of Fosnock working through traffic. Oh, those ruts are atrociously difficult.
Number 85.
Is that Rob Floth?
It was.
Yeah, Rob Floth making moves. We're back up to Paymart, who's in the number 2 position. He is pulled clear of Karsten. So Paymart paying off. He needs that 2nd place spot to get 3rd overall. Ouch. That rut. He got hit hard with that thing.
whiplash the way that thing whipped.
Boom.
Just past the mechanics area. That is 7 laps in the books. 25 seconds between Brown and Paymart. And Karsten comfortable in third. Got that old beaten up lazy boy that's really just sucks into his body. It's form fitted. Into the 10 commandments for the number 31, Barry Karsten. Just a few more times through there and he can call it quits for the day. So a few of these guys rode that earlier moto. Brown, he was out there. Karsten was out there. Grew was out there. So no rest for the weary.
Yep. Yeah, they were in separate classes, but they both did ride earlier. Now we see Karsten all by himself. Bree is in 6th. Bork trying to track him. There he is. There's 70 into the 10 commandments.
Whoa!
Whoa, John, holding on to that thing. I know it's not easy. With a busted thumb. He's 6th. Trying to get Walston and Fosnacht, who's 4th. 3 minutes, 33 seconds to go. So we're running out of time for anyone to do anything about Mike Brown, who has made it look easy. The hard work was already done in 25 plus. Brown just got to motor his way through in 40, and he will have back-to-back championships for back-to-back years. 4 titles in 2 years for Mike Brown. And the way Mike Brown goes, this might not stop for a long time.
Yeah, he's young enough. He can hang out in this class for a minute.
Yep.
He's only about 3 more years from hopping in the 50 class.
Are you kidding me?
Ugh.
Oh, my gosh. Oh. I remember you said that in 2-box years, too. When 2-box said he was 49, you're like, he is about to drop a bomb.
On this 450 class.
On that 50 class next year. There's Brown. I just saw him sneak through half a lap ahead of Gruey, who is 6th. Can Gruey get Ed Walston? He's going 4 seconds a lap faster. But he might run out of time. 2 minutes to go. I'm going to head down to the podium area with Mike Brown. I believe this will be our last moto of the day. 6:40 local time, Central Standard.
Mountain Industrial. Greenwich Mean Time, GMT time. There is John Gruey just passing riders left and right. Even though they're lapped, he does not care. There's a look at the number 1. He is hard to follow on this racetrack. Mike Brown. He's on Team Green's program from about the time he was on in the schoolboy class in about 87, 88. Mike Brown ran the 411 back in the day.
Last lap.
Here we go, the Lucas Oil last lap for Mike Brown by the billboards. Looks like he's picking out a spot to put his big fathead sticker up there with the rest of those guys. Nice wheelie from Mike Brown there. A salute to the mechanics there. Another wheelie for the ladies. Blows them a kiss. Gives a couple of high fives, signed 3 autographs in that turn. Standing up all the way through there, showing his enduro cross skills now. We've dropped a big pile of boulders there. He's going to ride through those. Up and over some railroad ties. Trying to make it difficult for Mike Brown. We cannot slow him down. Special enduro cross section that Randy Poulter has put together. Still got a great lap going. The number 1, Mike Brown. Paymart 2nd. Karsten 3rd. Fosnacht 4th. Edward Walston is 5th. John Gruey 6th. Brian Garahan 7th. Dennis Bork 8th. Rob Floth 9th. And Jeremy Tiffany round out your top 10 in his plus 40 class. Look at that. Mike Brown literally stood up the entire way. He is just showing off right now. If you're watching at home, he is putting on a clinic. And
that running up the score?
In the ruts. Yeah.
Running up the score.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. Getting those technical artistic points here. The judges really like that, the degree of difficulty of going through those ruts, standing up. European judges really appreciate that.
I think he's trying to beat the spread.
Yeah, he might have some money riding on this.
Yeah, hate to say that.
Betting on himself.
People out there gambling on the gap at the end of these motos.
The Pete Rose of motocross. Be careful, Mike. Don't ruin your legacy.
Mike.
You're better than that.
You can do that.
The number one cruising around the outside, standing up on the pegs again. Making double jumps out of braking bumps. He's going to finally have a seat, Mike. Just take the load off. He's already got the boots unbuckled. He literally rode the last half of that lap with no boots, Jason. Kind of kicked up on the gas tank.
Just to cool off. Here it is. Mike Brown's in. The goggles came off instantly. He's headed to the podium with another championship. And that was impressive. I don't know how he did that. He actually managed to get his helmet unbuckled and off while rolling with one hand.
Yeah, he's already got the boots off. Had the windows rolled down. Turned the AC
Bobby
off.
Hewitt has discovered quite a talent down here in this young Mike Brown fellow.
Got a shot.
Bobby seemed very proud. This new discovery that they picked up at the local tracks in Tennessee. Greg Paymart, what an effort for a second to get Karsten and hold it right to the end. So nicely done.
And John Grew, with all those passes, will wind up on the box. Overall, it's going to be Mike Brown, Barry Karsten, and John Gruey. That's your podium, but in this moto, it's Brown, Paymart, and Karsten. So John Gruey guts it out up to 5th with one less working finger. Congratulations to John.
Karsten pulls in for 3rd in the moto, so we'll bring him up on stage in a moment. Let these guys rest and relax. No rush now, because we are completed with racing for the day. Kevin, I've been informed you and I will be rooming with Wes Williams tonight.
All right.
I don't know if that's breaking news to you. Are you aware of that?
Oh, I'm excited. Yeah, one bed. We're all getting in there.
I know. We don't really have the accommodations for it, but I will be glad to accommodate, if that makes sense. The extreme chic out here, Wes Williams. So be ready for that, Kevin. Let's bring Barry on up. Everyone has been spared the weather this week. It just never quite gets to that typical Loretta's temperature. Sun's shining, no doubt. But overall, we've had it pretty easy. Well, he got worn down a bit by Paymart, but he's still up on the podium. And more moto medals for Barry Karsten. Woo! How'd that one go for you? Paymart was pushing hard.
Yeah, it was a long moto. I pushed real hard at the beginning, and you know, I got tired. I tell you right now. And you know, I went up past Frenchie, and then he had a second win, came back and got me. I was just kind of keeping my second overall in control, and I think that's what I got.
Last moto there, John Greer, not too happy. One of the moves. Just give me your side of what happened there at the billboard turn.
Well, like I said, we ride side by side, and we go into the billboard turn. He dives to the inside. I'm already committed. You know, I tap him on the foot peg. He goes across the ruts. You know, so.
Yeah. So you weren't aiming for him or anything like that.
No, that was my line. You know, he's the one who changed lines and came over in front of me, but it was all good.
All right. Who do you want to thank, Barry?
Again, Bromley Suzuki. Suzuki Army for contingency. Help us keep going every weekend. Arai helmet, Scott goggles, Answer gear, Dunlap tires, FMF pipes. I mean, I ripped every hole shot this week. Man, if I didn't get it, I was right there. But had fun. Sunstars, twin air filters. And Bob's RV is my company. And thank everybody for coming out, and especially my family for keeping me going all weekend.
See you next year here?
Yes.
All right. That's cool. Barry Karsten's going to be back. He's going to get the #1 one of these times. Let's hear it for Barry Karsten. And let's bring the championship motorcycle up. Meanwhile, we have our second place finisher that we will bring up to the stage while we get the #1 machine up here. But we certainly want to give the 44 credit for a hard ride. Man, he was really moving through those sand rollers, doubling his way past Barry Karsten, trying to salvage a 3rd overall. I think he's just going to miss it, but he does get 2nd in the moto. Let's hear it for Greg Paymart. We'll have you move up front here so we can have a little more room for these guys. Yeah. You were really moving. In fact, matching Brown's times are getting close there for a little while. Were you feeling good in that one?
Yeah, you know, it's the last moto of the week, so my team Green Cowie was running awesome all week, and I figure I have nothing to lose, so I used everything that was left in the tank, and here I am. So I know those guys are playing the porn game and playing it safe, but I want to make a statement here and try to be on the podium. It's been a while, man. So my wife and I are working very hard with all my sponsors, you know, my friends, as you say, because when you're vet riders, you don't have sponsors anymore. You have friends.
Okay.
Like Joel at FMF, you know, I think I met him in '94 at Brumtug at the National. So it's a big family, you know, it's something that comes back over and over. And being from France, you know, not having my family here, this is the closest thing that I have. And it's great, man. I love it here. It's a good way to finish the week for me.
Awesome. Anybody else you want to thank, Greg?
Yeah, I've got my list with me because when you're 45, you're getting old, you forget.
Okay. Yeah. We're already at that point. Sorry to hear that.
I'm not on the podium very often, so I want everybody to be in there. So my motocross school, FMF, Kawasaki Team Green, Crossroad Power Sport, they've been helping me for like 15 years. FX Air, the gear are awesome, Vanted. It's a pleasure, you know. I'm not even hot.
No, not at all.
No. I'm cold right now.
Yeah.
Scott Goggles, Twin Air, Boyson, Axis Suspension, Power Seal, all bows, and my company MKS Moto Kicks. I make socks and soon to be shoes, so I'm trying to get that going for a few years now, but it's going to happen. And everybody here, man, to put such a great event. For an old guy like me, it's the only time really I get to race a full gate, so it's a pleasure, man. It's so fun and so hard. And it's so fun when it's over.
Yeah, now you get to relax. You going to come back again?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm going to come back a little more prepared next year. You know, I'll try to get more prepared, but you know what it is. But yeah, I'm going to give this guy a run for the money.
All right, good to hear it. Frenchie, Greg Premart, solid run. It's good to see you on the podium. Second place for the 44. And now we'll bring the number one machine on up for the second time today. He has won a title. That's 4 in 2 years since returning to the ranch. I don't know where Bobby Hewitt and the Rockstar team find these young talents somewhere in the hinterlands. I don't know where they find these guys. So Mike Brown does it. Boy, I didn't know how much he'd have left for this class after that battle down to the wire in 25 plus, but it was enough to win the Moto, and with that, the title. Let's hear it for Mike Brown. Try to get the angle here. Seriously, how are you feeling physically even going to the line and in that Moto? Because you left it all out there, what, 2 hours ago?
Yeah, no, for sure I was tired. You know, I tried to get a good start there, and as I did, and try to do a few hard laps and then get out there if I could and, you know, make it ride a little bit easier. But in motocross, it's never easy. It don't matter if you're going slow, fast, or whatever you're doing. There's always a mistake going here and there. It takes the energy out of you. And, yeah, I just kind of try to road smooth there at the end and, you know, get to the finish line.
Hey, what's cool is a lot of the pro members of the Rockstar Husky team are here. They're obviously doing well with Jalik Swole, but they're helping you out too. It's a pretty cool situation.
Oh, for sure. Like I said earlier in the other class, if it wasn't for those guys, I wouldn't be here 100%. And, you know, I want to thank those guys, you know, Bobby and Scuba and Murphy and the whole team. My mechanic Scott for getting me the bike here from California. And, I mean, it all over to those guys. You know, FXR got me here too, so it's a big thing. You know, everybody thinks it's all factory ride and all that, but it does take a lot of time and money for me and everybody else to get here. So it's I enjoy it as much as they do, and yeah, it's a great time this week. Anybody else you want to thank there, Mike? Just Husqvarna, FXR, Dunlop, Bell Helmets, Oakley. That's it. Everybody, Jim's Motorcycle Sales from Johnson City. Those guys have been behind me forever, and it's been a good ride. You know, I've been here the last 2 years, and I don't know if I'll be back next year or not. So it all depends on Bobby and Rockstar.
Okay, all right, we'll see. Maybe bring him back out. This has been fun. Let's hear it for our 40-plus champion, Mike Brown. Let's get Ricky Records from the AMA to hand out our #1 plate. There's a whole shot in this Moto. Have they already deserted me? Did you get the whole shot? Whole shot in this Moto? Anybody? Think so? They already handed you that? All right, I got to do this too. Mike Brown, also our whole shot winner, and our #1 plate. One more time for the #1.